You guys are live.
All right, very good. I'd like to call the Green Committee meeting to order, please. If we could have a roll call.
Swirsky.
Here.
Freeman.
Here.
Connor.
Here.
Samples.
Here.
McKittrick.
Here.
All committee members are present.
Okay, very good. We had placed this item, we'd referred this item last week, and just wanting to ask if any committee members or council members would have questions, please speak at this time. Thank you. I'm not hearing.
Councilman Malik has his hand raised.
Okay, Councilman Malik.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. I had a chance to look over the tree report, and I know that a number of other council members did as well. I just want to first thank the city for this report. I mean, I think it was a really thoughtful exercise focusing on equity, focusing on how we can reverse some of the trends in terms of tree canopy loss. I did have a couple questions that I shared with Mr. Luddle, but I just wanted to mention for the committee's benefit. I guess first, for Mr. Luddle, do we have hard numbers for the trees that were both removed and planted by the city over the last 3 years?
We would need to look.
Sorry.
Yeah. We good? Yes, we do. I was gathering that list for you to get to you, and I'll get to all council. John Malish was working on that this morning.
Okay, thank you, sir. The second one was just a comment. I know that one of the big pieces of the tree issues is that, while we can plant a lot in the right of way and on public property, we can't control what happens on private property. And so one of the ideas was potentially including some requirement on conditional use petitions that they state exactly what the impact will be on trees, so that either we can address it, through that conditional use process, potentially impact it. So that's one idea for the committee. And then the third thing was that, I know that trees are a difficult issue for a lot of us. There sometimes are problem areas where tree needs to be taken down. I know that this report laid out kind of 4 possible paths in terms of ways we can, not continue on the current trend of losing canopy. And I was hoping that potentially we could discuss maybe amending the piece or something, having some kind of, touch base back in maybe 6 months with a report following up on this report and saying, here's the steps we want to take. Here's the direction we want to go in. And here's, our thought process with regard to that. How are we going to bring other stakeholders to the table? So I guess that's my thought about this piece, so that we can make sure we don't continue on the trajectory that we're on.
Okay.
So I believe, Mr. Luddle, I heard you say that John is going to be getting us more information here real soon.
Yes. He's
Okay.
working on the numbers of trees that were removed in specific locations, where they were removed. A lot of those probably were the tunnel site, but everywhere we have done, these basins like Rack 12 on Evans or Rack 14 on Forge, Racks 10, 11 down on Wellington. Even though I don't think we removed very many on that site, but the tunnel was the big one. And Davey has started replanting those trees on the tunnel site. A lot of the hardwoods have gone in, and some of the pines have gone in. They're going to kind of shield or border along Hickory Street on the top there. So
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Mr. Swirsky.
Well, just first of all, it's an impressive document. I mean, the detail and the analysis that went into this and the breaking down by ward, you know, as a ward councilman, we always appreciate when the administration does that, so we can take looks at it from different critical viewpoints. And I think it's a great start. I would like to see a little more emphasis on how do we get to a goal. I mean, we've identified the problem, and unless I'm missing something, I mean, if someone could tell us, like, over the next 5 years, we're going to plant so many trees, kind of like we have goals with the housing, with other things, and with attracting new residents. Is that something that's in the works for how do we get from here to there? I don't know if Mr. Luddle or someone would like to talk about that.
We can definitely talk about our goals and to build out our tree canopy. As the report showed, it is an equity issue. Okay, that we want to get all these neighborhoods and get all these trees on the lawn strips planted. We can use all of your help. Unbeknownst till we really started ramping this program up, that when we send 100 letters out, we get 30 residents to say they don't want a tree. And, you know, we try to explain the benefits of the stormwater and helping the CSO program and, you know, reducing these pockets of no trees and better for the environment, and reducing the heat load as was identified in that. So we can use your help too to educate these residents on all the benefits of having a tree canopy. As far as the goals, we can definitely talk about that, sir. And
some goals. I'm sorry.
No, we can definitely talk about that and goals and where we want to be in 5 years. Okay.
Yeah. And reaching out to other stakeholders to help us with this education. I mean, trees on tree lawns raise property values. You know, right off the top of my head, the real estate companies ought to be real interested in what we're doing with that and in working with us. And I think I've seen in their national magazine, you know, at least on the national level, the Real Estate Association is very sort of hip to this idea that trees, you know, they don't just reduce greenhouses, they're not just good for the environment, they're good for property values. I would be glad to help. I'd like to see us develop a plan of reaching out to stakeholders and goals and something a little with a little more oomph that happens, you know, I mean, as fast as we could. Not necessarily, you know, I understand these things don't happen overnight, but I think that would be useful for when you have a program. So would you consider additional language, also reporting back to city council? And I'm not even sure if all the tree commission members knew about this. Were the tree commission members contacted about this?
I believe they were, sir, about this study, yes, and about our new software.
Okay, well, that's great. That's a good start. Yeah, and there's a lot to be proud of. So I just like to share that with other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think our $1.5 million commitment over the next 3 years is a big commitment.
Good point.
You know, that we are, you know, making an effort to replace these plus build out our tree canopy. You know, to answer Councilwoman Connor's question last year, that we do the giveaways of cherry, pears, and cherry trees. And I did, and this could be for all your awards, but John Malish has identified Long Park and Goodyear Heights could be a nice area that we could maybe do a fruit tree orchard, and then the residents could benefit from that. We and he don't feel putting a fruit tree on a lawn strip is a viable, sustainable thing. Because if that homeowner doesn't take care of the fruit, then the fruit falls and then it could make a mess, whether it's on the lawn strip or on the sidewalk. So I think we can find other areas to plant these fruit trees. I think we all have pockets in our wards that maybe we could look at doing something, whether it's these type of trees and, like I said, create this orchard. I think Councilwoman Connor had a question or a statement.
Chris, I'm going to send you, there's a program in Philadelphia. It's called the Philadelphia Orchard Project. And
Okay,
it's all about planting fruit trees in cities and grouping them together to get the maximum yield of fruit. Because some trees you have to plant male and female trees or you don't get fruit. I will send you that link this afternoon.
perfect. I think all of us have had this over the years of you plant these trees and it breaks our sidewalk up, you know, or you plant these trees and you've planted these trees and the power grid comes in and they, you know, they don't trim them all the time. Okay. They do it for line clearance. And I think by having this comprehensive plan that if that lawn strip is only 4 feet wide of grass, then we're not going to plant a tree that's going to break that sidewalk up in 4 or 5 years. Okay. I don't want to talk about what happened in the past, but moving forward, let's plant the appropriate tree for the appropriate size of lawn strip or on that particular side of the street. So, because there's a lot of streets where there's not lines on both sides of the street. Okay. So let's look at that and be more proactive than reactive down the road.
Mr. Swirsky?
Yeah, just one other concern, and I'm not sure when we do this, but I think it's better actually for the ecosystem, which is the purpose of improving the tree canopy plus the property values. If we use trees that are from Ohio, if we use native trees, and I would like us to have a policy and goals to increase that. I think in the past, not you, Mr. Little, but there was some confusion about what that meant. And I think, I'd like to see us try to have trees that fit in with our ecosystem. And I'm assuming Mr. Malish knows exactly what I'm talking about, but sometimes I see trees that seem like they're from, I don't know where. So if we could do that, I think it would really improve this project, especially if we're talking about Ohio trees.
Okay.
Would that be something adopted as a policy that we'll make every effort? It's not always possible, but.
I will talk to our arborist and get back to you. How's that? I don't want to
Okay.
commit to something that's not attainable.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Looking around, Sarah, help me if I'm missing anything.
Don't see any hands raised at this time.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of questions and hearing a lot of questions. Would somebody want to make a motion to continue to refer this item, or?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion, a second to refer. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll continue to talk about this. And I don't believe we have anything else coming before us. So we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next committee meeting of the day is the Budget and Finance Committee meeting, and that will begin at 3 o'clock. Those committee members are Freeman, Amobian, Malik, Baylor, and Lombardo. So